We've all seen the devastating images of people in the flood zones in the northern rivers. We've seen people stranded on roofs for hours. We have seen children being rescued. We're seeing people stranded on bridges. But importantly as well, we're also seeing a community come together in supporting one another to get everyone through. And that is the spirit of the people in the northern rivers and right across our state. We will be doing everything, continue to do everything that we can to get everybody to safety and get these communities right across our state back on their feet as quickly as possible. We've done that in the past. We've done that as a state together, and we will do it again. I want to thank our SES volunteers, our SES personnel, over 550 working around the clock to get people to safety and importantly to provide that care and support as we move through this difficult time. Also the RFS, the police force, everyone coming together, but ultimately as well, our community. Volunteers right across the board. That spirit of service is coming out and we are witnessing it and seeing it firsthand. And that is the spirit that will continue to get our state through this difficult time. We've seen, as you've seen, as we've all seen, the flood rivers in Lismore last night are reaching 2 metres above a record high. These images are devastating and distressing. We've seen 1,000 flood rescues so far, over 6,000 calls for assistance. Today, currently, there are 26 evacuation orders in place, 26 evacuation orders affecting 40,000 people. If there is an evacuation order in place, please follow the instructions and leave. Unless it is not safe to do so, and if you are unsure, please contact the SES on 132 500. In addition to that, we have 5 evacuation warnings in place. Now, these evacuation warnings affect over 300,000 people in the north. 300,000 people are currently impacted by an evacuation warning, and if an evacuation warning has been issued, please follow the instructions. If you can leave safely, please do so. Please do not wait. Please gather your belongings and please follow the instructions from the SES. As we've said yesterday, this is an unprecedented event, simply because you've been in a flood-prone area in the past and have not experienced well, you may have experienced events. They are not at this scale, and simply because a flood in the past has not affected you, that does not mean that this flood will as well. So please follow the instructions. If those orders are in place, please evacuate. I want to thank the public broadcaster as well as commercial broadcasters like Southern Cross who continue to provide clear, concise information to those local communities. You are doing an amazing job in ensuring that our people in the Northern Rivers and surrounds are given the information they need in a timely manner. This is a team effort and I very much appreciate the support that you are providing. This morning, we have made, along with the Commonwealth, national disaster declarations for 17 council areas. Now, these declarations will do the following: provide immediate financial support for those people who need it. And in addition, it also ensures that financial support with the state and the federal government is there to help our communities get back on their feet as the rivers subside. So we know this is, today we are focused on rescue. That is our number one that is our number one focus from a state government level, from a council level and from a Commonwealth level, and providing care and support for those people who have been isolated and obviously that are currently in one of our evacuation centres. But this will very quickly move to recovery, and we'll be doing everything we can, working around the clock to ensure that no one is left behind, that every person is back on their feet and every community continues to stand strong following this. Those natural disaster declarations, I want to thank the support of the Prime Minister and the Commonwealth Government for the continued dialogue and the support that they are providing. We will ensure that these communities are back on their feet. This morning, I had the opportunity to meet with all the mayors of all those areas. I want to thank them for their engagement. We went through a whole range of issues that are currently facing those communities. Obviously, in Lismore and in the Richmond Valley, there's a greater focus on rescue and aerial support right now. There are other concerns that have come through in terms of the cleanup, in terms of the infrastructure investment that's going to get these communities back on their feet. I want to thank them for their engagement, and my commitment to them has been that we will continue a coordinated response. Obviously, here at the State Emergency Operations Centre with Mal Lanyon and with Resilience New South Wales through Shane Fitzsimmons, we will ensure the recovery is the focus is not just on rescue today and ensuring care and support for those people who need it, but ultimately, in addition, we are focused on getting people back on their feet into temporary accommodation, and then ensuring that the cleanup and the construction is already underway. So we've gone through this in the past, and we'll get through this together again. As I said, I want to thank the Prime Minister for his ongoing support. In addition to that, to the premiers across the country, it really does bring out the best in our nation to have many premiers offering that support to help get us through. I very much appreciate each of you for reaching out, and that support is important, and very much appreciate that from the people of our state. Thank you. Evacuation centres, as we know, are underway, and I want to thank the volunteers who are there providing that care and support. Obviously, as we move through this period, and I spoke earlier, and Shane may speak to this as well, in terms of temporary accommodation and making sure that those provisions are in place. We are working through that as we speak. I want to also call out the Insurance Council of Australia. This morning I spoke to the President, Andrew Hall. Already we've seen 15,000 claims that have been made. Obviously, we expect many, many more. But I want to thank them for their engagement. I think if we look over the past, whether it's been through bushfires, whether it's been through floods, we've always relied on our insurance companies to work with the government, to work with local communities. That engagement is already there. I'm pleased to know they'll be going up this week. So very much appreciate that engagement, because the recovery and construction of and rebuilding these communities is going to be crucial, and the Insurance Council will play a crucial role in that. I also want to say as well, we know that at the moment this is focused on the north, but very quickly, as we're seeing in metropolitan Sydney now, severe and heavy rainfall, and then it will move to the south. So to all people, particularly across the east coast of our state, these issues may come your way, and for everyone across our state, we're seeing what is happening in the north. We're seeing that collective community spirit, but ultimately as well, as this progresses, we need to continue to follow those instructions from the SES. So if those evacuation orders are made, if those evacuation warnings are made, we need to get ready. We'll need to work together to make sure we get through this as a state. So as I said, just in finishing, and then we'll have the Steph Cook, the Minister for Emergency Services, provide an update at her end. We will then have Dean Narramore from the Bureau of Meteorology also speak about what to expect over the course of this week in weather conditions, and then the Commissioner, SES Commissioner Carleen York will also speak. But I think in finishing, whilst we are certainly seeing devastating scenes up north, we can all take heart in the courage and the bravery that we are seeing in our people, in our frontline volunteers, in our emergency services personnel, but ultimately our people. And particularly in the north, we've gone through a very difficult time over the last few years, whether that's through bushfires and floods, and here we are again. One thing that we know, and one thing that I know as Premier, is that our people will always pull through, and we will pull through together, because that is the spirit and that is the courage and determination that we've seen in the past. It is what we are seeing in those images every single day at the moment, and that is what will continue to help our state get through. I'm now going to pass to Steph Cook, then we'll hear from the Bureau, and then Carleen.